Hey y'all, it's November the 30th, 2015, and as you might recall, as far as November the 28th, 2015, there was another mass shooting. It wasn't that big, I think, uh, three, around 3 or 4 people got shot and killed. All right, up in Colorado Springs, and it was at a Planned Parenthood. All right, I actually happen to know someone who lives quite close to the area. Um, I just want to put my 2 cents in there. Um, as far as basically all these mass shootings that you're seeing, and you're seeing them on a weekly basis now, just like I had predicted, and just like many people had predicted a long time ago. As far as this one's concerned, and as far as those other ones are concerned, they very well might be fake. In fact, a lot of people are putting up evidence that makes you ponder, I think this is fake. All right, but let's continue. Uh, this incident and those incidents may, like Paris and all that, they may be fake, they may not be fake. All right, uh, try to put that out of your mind for a second, real quick. People might have gotten killed, all right, and they might not have gotten killed. But here's the thing about it: whether they got killed or not, it's quite obvious what's going on as far as afterwards, as far as these crisis actors jump on, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something, they're not even good actors. In fact, they're hardly ever good actors. The way that they're acting usually is quite suspicious. For example, they forgive the killer immediately, a lot like a Charleston and many other incidents. They forgive the killer immediately.
Hate won't win. Thank
Hate
you,
won't
Simmons
win.
family, for joining us this morning. And of course, I join with the entire country in offering condolences.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
What? Okay.
Alana, let me start with you. Hate won't win. Why was it important to you to send that message in court last week?
Because you had to read your lines, that's why.
Well, earlier this week, when all of the families spoke, I was actually inspired by some of the other families who immediately forgave the suspect when they had the opportunity.
And anybody who's been through trauma and has seen trauma progress as far as losing loved ones and things, they understand that forgiveness is a key aspect in the process, but it's also like the last aspect. All right, there, people describe it as being there's 5 steps, beginning with anger and then ending in forgiveness. All right, and these processes, they do not take place within the span of 24 hours. Meanwhile, in many of these situations, you're going to find people who, within 24 hours, forgive the crazy, wild eyed criminal immediately. Immediately. They have the love for Jesus up in them and they forgive them immediately. However, for some reason, they do not forgive the laws that our forefathers put on this country. Um, they don't forgive those laws because they think the laws are guilty. They say the fact that anybody can have guns is guilty. This man who's running around, obviously popping some pills, he's a crazy man. But I forgive him. I think he's an angel and a sweetie pie. Secondly, I hate guns. I hate the fact that anybody has guns, and we need to get rid of everybody's guns. All right. Might I add that if you're so quick to forgive, you're handing out forgiveness like it's candy. You might want to forgive the gun laws, which paved the way for you to actually have safety up in America. All right. You might want to forgive all the politicians who keep ensuring that you do have the right to have guns to protect yourself. All right. So if that's what you're going to do with forgiveness, go ahead and spread the forgiveness around. But you're not going to do it. You're going to hear them speak about our rights to have guns as if our rights are the devil or Satan itself. All right. So that's kind of interesting. Um, that's an interesting aspect of these crisis actors. And I repeat, whether or not people got killed or not, These are crisis actors, and they're not good actors. All right, so that's something to be kept in mind. Now, also what I noticed on Facebook, and you know what I'm saying, if you're trying to find some bullshit propaganda, Facebook is a great place to find that stuff. And I saw it almost immediately. Is that this crazy old man who represents me in no kind of way? This crazy old man was reportedly saying or murmuring while he was murdering people, no more baby parts. And he happened to be in a Planned Parenthood. Now, as you might recall, Planned Parenthood has come under fire with people who have common sense um, for chopping up little babies and selling their parts, which is completely illegal and it's just pretty much blasphemous. That's what they've been doing, and they've been caught doing it on many occasions. All right. So you had this crazy guy murmuring allegedly, "No more baby parts," which what that is intended to do is is kind of intended to um, like excuse the fact that Planned Parenthood is chopping up babies and selling their parts. You say, "Oh, look at this crazy guy. He's acting crazy and nonsensical and doing all sorts of crazy things and murdering people. So therefore, it's obvious that chopping up baby parts and selling them is not such a bad thing." Somehow, that's the line of reasoning that you're supposed to come up with. All right. What I want to put out there is this. This old man doesn't represent me at all. And notice how uh, they also went out of their way to tell you he's an off the gridder. He has a serious disdain for the government. First of all, I'm not an off the gridder. Uh, you're never gonna get off this grid. Period. I don't care if you think you are somehow. They're gonna always have you on the grid. I'm more of a person who likes to uh, get more self-sufficient. There's many people like us who want to be more self-sufficient. Do not want to rely on outside entities for what we need in our everyday lives. All right. Secondly, I don't like abortion really. I'm not big on it. I don't want to be involved in abortions. All right. Secondly, or thirdly, if you want to go ahead and get abortions all day long. I'm a libertarian. First of all, I don't care what you do. All right. And even if I did care what you do, there's ain't no way I'm gonna stop you. All right. It would be impossible to try to stop you, wouldn't it? So with that being said, get as many abortions as you want. All right, let that be known. Get a machine that goes up in your womb and constantly scrapes your womb out all day, every day, for all I care. All right, there's nothing I can do to stop you, nor would I want to stop you. Go ahead and do it. Do it all day. All right. Uh, I don't happen to like the idea. All right, so I'm not trying to stop you. If I was trying to stop you, I realize that it would be impossible. All right. The problem that I have is that federally, I'm supposed to give money that is supposed to fund your scraping out of your womb and chopping up babies and selling it. I'm supposed to give money for that. This is the problem that I have. Right? This is a problem that don't none of y'all pro-abortion people want to address. All right, and so you're trying to criminalize people who simply don't like the idea of it. All right. Lastly, I want to finish with this. This is just another example. It's yet another example of how Obama and the like, and there's many of the like, and there's people who are above Obama pulling his little puppet strings. They can't stop, won't stop. They're not going to stop. All right. Um, this war that's coming eventually and actually inevitably and quite soon, it seems like. Um, it's gonna come. A lot of people are like saying, these truthers, they're bringing about a war that doesn't need to happen. Nobody wants a war. Nobody wants one, but it's coming whether we want it or not because we gave a moose a muffin. We put this crack smoking homosexual Arab um, into a position of power, and here's the thing: there's people above him who are seeing to it that don't nobody have guns, don't nobody have rights, don't nobody have the right to speak their mind at all. So this war is coming, regardless. And I want to remind y'all that um, never in history are you going to find a pro-lifer, a genuine pro-lifer going around shooting people up for no reason. Pro-lifers only shoot people up when their life is at risk. They don't go willy-nilly running around shooting people. This is an absurd-looking, crazy old man who represents no one. That is, in fact, if he's not a patsy, and he very well could be a patsy. Y'all, I would like to say y'all need to wake up, but the thing is, at this point, the people who are gonna wake up are already awake. So let this be fuel to the fire to inspire you and to remind you that these people are not gonna stop. All right. It's November the 30th, 2015. These people aren't gonna stop.
9 people are wounded, 3 die. 29-year-old Kier Stewart, a father of 2 girls, served in Iraq. His brother says he just walked outside the Planned Parenthood office when he was shot.
He tried to get back inside and warn the others, take cover, military instinct,
Jennifer Markovsky was helping a friend that day. She was married with 2 kids. 44-year-old police officer Garrett Swayze was killed, once a champion junior ice skater who trained with his friend, Olympian Nancy Kerrigan.
You can't explain it. It's horrific and sad.
At Swayze's church Sunday, they said a prayer for his alleged killer, 57-year-old Robert Deere.
God, we forgive him.
Deere appears to be a recluse, no serious criminal history, once living in this rundown shack in North Carolina before recently moving to Colorado into this mobile home police searched on Saturday.
He's not saying, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Very hard to, identify that type of person as a threat.
More than 5 hours after the shooting begins, Deere surrenders. His motive is still unclear, but law enforcement sources say he made rambling, hostile comments toward Planned Parenthood. The U.S. Attorney General calls the shooting a crime against women receiving health care.
And Deere has now gotten the attention of the U.S. Secret Service for statements he allegedly made about President Obama after his arrest. But at this point, no government agency considered him a threat before the attack. Robin?
Instead of the shooter, let's talk about the families, Clayton. I know that you spent time with them. They are remarkable. What are they telling you?
It is remarkable, Robin, and not all, but many of them tell me that they have already forgiven the gunman if they came face to face with him. They say they all have the same question: why?
Question many of us have, Clayton. Thank you.
Why? That's a pretty good question. I got another question. Why would you forgive someone for their heinous crime and then ask them why they did it? Ponder that for a second. Also, Barack Obama, along with Hillary, and I'm sure everybody else, including Bernie Sanders, they've already gone ahead and said, see, that's why nobody should have guns, and we can never forgive anybody who has guns. All right, I want us all to leave on this note. Imagine, if you will, you have a loved one, right? Somebody that you love very much. Imagine that somebody came and beat them to death heinously with a baseball bat. And now imagine that you immediately forgive that person, but at the same time, you hold an eternal grudge against Major League Baseball and every little kid who plays baseball forever. You might say, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is November the 30th, 2015.